in a Game 3, trying to work their way back into this Western Conference series, hosting the Denver Nuggets, who took their first two games in Denver. Meantime, our first baseball game will come up into your TV screens at 3:07 Eastern. It is the Blue Jays and the Orioles. I'm Brian.
Arizona, your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
How you feeling about that for your conference finals? Don't bring me an original six shirt today, Jackson. The growth of hockey underway as evidenced by the NHL postseason.
Yeah, I mean, it's, quote, one of the best playoffs in sports by one Mike Gross. He
Absolutely
said that,
it
and,
is.
You know, I'm not a big hockey guy myself, but I kept up with the box score, and it's about midnight or so, and I look over, and it says end of third overtime, and you see guys like Wayne Gretzky that are just like, just put the puck in the damn goal already.
Right.
Can we get this going? And it was on the Eastern Conference side too, so that game didn't end until probably 3 or 4 a.m., which is crazy to think about. But I mean, you got the Vegas Dallas series. I believe they played tonight.
They do
play tonight.
No, we got. I'm sorry. Today we've got the Panthers and the Hurricane tonight, and then back to Vegas tomorrow night for the Stars and the Golden Knights.
Yeah, 1-0 How about Florida right now? If the Florida Panthers can win this game, you talk about the Miami Heat winning on the road against an upset team. The Panthers could do the same thing. They have
Both number 8 seeds.
Both number 8 seeds against the number 1 seeds or number 2 seeds in the respective conferences.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're in Miami, Florida right now, you were smiling ear to ear.
You got to love it if you're watching those two teams down there for sure. Hey, guess what today is? The 148th running, of the Preakness Stakes from just outside of Baltimore. We will have our good friend Marco D'Angelo coming on at 11:30. So I'll introduce Marco, and then I'll just step aside. I'll let you and Marco break it down since you both nailed the Kentucky Derby. And you and Marco will just you'll share the knowledge at 11:30 on this race with a much smaller field than we saw in the Kentucky Derby.
You know, when the Kentucky Derby happened and I predicted Mage Tap to win, I didn't prepare beforehand. I kind of listened to Marco's advice and took which advice I wanted and picked my pick after that. So I'm going to do the same thing this time. I haven't looked at the field, haven't prepared at all. So I don't know if it's a great mindset or great approach to have, but it worked once. So let's just try it again, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And in all seriousness, Marco, and regular listeners to the program know this, Marco is a frequent contributor, regular contributor during football season, right? And we value his advice during football season, but his passion is horse racing. He owns horses and he's close to the sport. So some really solid analysis when Marco joins us. And we retweeted something from Wager Talk. Marco was on and did a special on the Preakness already. And you can see that at Fox 910 Saturday. We retweeted it a bit ago if you want to check that out before Marco comes on, and then hear him for the final picks right before the race gets going here at 11:30.
It's funny with Marco. Usually, we ask him questions throughout his interview, but we asked him maybe one question, and he just went after it.
And it was good.
About 5 or 6 horses, and I believe, obviously he picked Mage to win, and he said if he was the one to win, we'd all be cashing tickets and be partying. But he named a couple horses, and most of those horses were either in the top half of them or pretty damn close. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to horse racing.
Second leg of the Triple Crown gets underway later on this afternoon. Coming up also, we will talk some Major League Baseball win totals. We've got some updated look at the numbers, and we'll see who's underperforming and who's maybe overperforming a little bit when it comes to those totals that we saw at the start of the Major League Baseball season. We're about 2 months in, and teams starting to take shape a little bit, so we will take a look at that. We'll also look at some college football totals. We'll see if we want to argue about your favorite team on the board, the Arizona Wildcats, coming up a little bit later on. And then golf. We got the PGA Championship going on, and you heard at the top of the hour update, weather is the issue today as moisture and just the playing conditions right now as they get underway in the third round.
Yeah, and it seems to be the only talk, which it sucks that weather's the talk of the town, but I think golf's probably the only sport where weather is such a big factor, and especially a course like this with the roughs are 9 feet deep, it seems like.
Yeah.
But yesterday there were some winds in the morning, and then wind and rain, mostly rain in the afternoon, which actually kind of played the favor of the golfers. They'd rather play in rain, they said, than wind itself. But right now, you got a 3-way tie for first. Victor Hovland, Corey Connors, and Scotty Scheffler all at 5 under, and they're going to tee off here around 11:40, 11:50. But, I mean, you talk about a normal major tournament. They're saying today is going to be the toughest round in major tournament in the last 20 years, I believe. So you're looking at high scores today. I mean, we've seen some of the morning tee times. We've seen guys like Joel Damon, Justin Thomas shot 5 over today. Phil Mickelson 5 over. John Rahm 3 over. You want to talk about a surprise? The biggest surprise of the tournament so far. John Rahm at 7 over. He was the favorite of this tournament. But we'll see. It's all about hitting them straight and long. And you look at the top of the leaderboard, who can hit it straight and long that's having a good tournament so far is Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he hasn't been at the top of the leaderboard like this since 2020.
We'll keep an eye on that board and give you updates throughout the course of the show today. Coming up, also we will do head coaching odds. You and I were here last week, and we
hinted.
What if the Phoenix Suns made a change, the head coaching side? And it wasn't a prediction. It wasn't anything other looking at what's going on around.
We had sources. Who knows?
We should have. But the deal has been done. Yeah. The Suns are in the market for a head coach.
What are your thoughts, Monty leaving? Because we haven't talked about it yet. Obviously, we kind of hinted at it.
Yeah.
And the news dropped. It was Monday.
Well, it's the old adage. It's easy to coach to move players, right? You fire a coach, it doesn't impact your salary cap. And you look at the coaches that have been fired recently. You feel bad for Monty Williams because you feel bad for Monty Williams because he did what a lot of coaches do. He changed culture here. We had a decade plus of the postseason. Monty came in and did some very, very things. But if you look at the last two postseason, Phoenix Suns eliminated on court, eliminated by digits and big margins, right? The question was asked, and clearly the question was answered. Has he taken his team as far? And the owners that matter said, yeah, that's all you can do. Appreciate you, but here's your parting gift. Gotta go.
I wouldn't be here, folks. This sucks. Would not be without Monty Williams ever since that when they went 8-0 in the bubble. This franchise has been absolutely completely changed. I believe the development of Devin Booker himself. Credit to Monty Williams, but at the same time, says, hey, we have a mostly through window. I think next year's the year they have to win if you're the Suns. And the biggest takeaway I have is cool to see is our owner Matt Ishbia not afraid to spend. He's not afraid to go out there and get the top guy. Maybe lure on a guy like Ty, which for those out there that want Ty Lue would be one of the odds-on favorite. They have to negotiate, and what Ishbia has to do is get out his contract and then re-sign him here for a different contract. Ty Lue is a guy I would love to have here. They can make it happen. But again, it's a deals, and they don't want to get in trouble with tampering with the NBA. Because you don't want illegal stuff happening.
Speaking of predictions, he's not coming here. Ty Lue will not.
I wish.
He's coach of the Suns.
We'll get
into that. We'll do that in our next segment. Hey, regulars know our man Ryan Cirk sends in his. Is Manchester City -1 over Chelsea. If Man City wins, they will be crowned the champion. They're playing at home. And Chelsea's got nothing left to play for, so they may end up using younger guys. So the pick of the week this week is Man City -1 goal over Chelsea, and we'll keep an eye on that. Ryan Cirk, his pick of the week, and he's been on a little bit of a roll. He hit it again last week, and he knows more about soccer than all of us combined. So
yeah, if Ryan hits about 6 more in a row, then we might have him on the show.
Let him do it live.
Yeah, live pick on the show, but he's got to hit 6 more in a row.
All right, we'll see what he can do with that. He's Jackson Groff. I'm Mike Gross. Mike Bauer along as well. We're going to step aside here on the other side. Hey, let's take a deeper dive into that question. Who's going to be the next head coach of the Phoenix Suns? What do the numbers tell us? We'll do that next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You'll always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 is Rockin' Mooch with Jimmy B, broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings, and we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering at Venezias.com, or let us know if we can help at 6 locations, including the newest now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let's help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Are you living paycheck to paycheck only to find yourself going backwards financially each month? Nobody wants to file bankruptcy, but at many times, it's the best choice. The credit industry wants you to believe that bankruptcy is bad and that it will destroy your credit forever, but that's just not true. In most cases, filing bankruptcy can improve your credit. At Lerner Rowe Law Group, our bankruptcy lawyers only work on bankruptcy cases, and we can file your bankruptcy with $0 down.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Join Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
It's that time of year again.
Valley Chevy Dealers 24th Annual Memorial Day Sales Event. This Memorial Day, if you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, see your Valley Chevy dealers during the Memorial Day Sales Event. Stop by any of your Valley Chevy dealers and check out the all-new Chevy Colorado and the all-new Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Turbo Max. New inventory and new models arriving daily. The Memorial Day Sales Event going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today. Visit valleychevy.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your casino, Arizona.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug.
Ever noticed that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as $55 a month from Straight Talk, America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $55 plan, 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2 speeds. Refer to the latest terms at StraightTalk.com based on most first-place ranking metrics. Second half 2022 assessments of 125 metrics. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
In a new series from the teams at Novel and iHeartRadio, this is the Fighty Pucks. We're going out on the ice with the most violent hockey team ever.
That was guerrilla warfare at its highest.
Were they heroes or villains? You decide.
You and I are going to have a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Welcome to the jungle.
Listen to the Fighty Pucks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Had to take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back in. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff from the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 McKellips. And the news of the week was Monty Williams relieved of his responsibilities as head coach of the Phoenix Suns. There are now 5, Jackson, Michael, openings around the National Basketball Association. And before we jump into the numbers and who might be landing where, for those of you that just question, well, geez, how can you fire Monty Williams just a couple years after he takes you to the NBA Finals?
Coach of the year.
The finals, they were up 2-0 in there. Well, the guy that beat you got fired this year, too. So it shows you the fickle nature of NBA owners and how quickly they will pull the trigger if they think it can help them. Detroit, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Toronto, and the Phoenix Suns all with head coaching vacancies as we sit here today. And Jackson, you've got the numbers. Let's start here. The odds on favorite, and then we'll discuss.
The odds on favorite right now is Nick Nurse at plus 200. followed by Kevin Young, who is an unknown name to some people out there, but he has been an assistant in the NBA since 2017 and has been with the Suns organization since 2020. So maybe some familiarity there. And then Boonhauser at plus 350. But my question to you guys is, some of the reasons why Ishbia kind of, let go of Monty Williams is because he was someone that he wasn't really familiar with, didn't really know how to respond to some conversations, and he wants to bring a guy that he's familiar with.
Right.
Well, I just listed all. Okay, Young would be the most relevant, I guess, because he's known him for the past couple of months. He doesn't have any relationship with Nick Nurse or Budenhauser. So do you think he'd bring someone else that he doesn't know too, or maybe someone that he's got some ties with, maybe like a friend of a friend that knows him? What do you think Ishbia's approach is to this?
A friend of a friend. A guy.
Exactly.
Like his pool guy.
Whoever Isaiah Thomas tells him to hire, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
for the love of God, I hope
God, please no.
Look, I mean, the reality of this is, and I'm glad that Ty Lue's not on that list, because Suns fans, Ty Lue will not be your next head coach. I'm sure there's a number out there if we were wagering on it that you could put on it, but the odds would be astronomical because the Los Angeles Clippers want no part of Ty Lue in Phoenix. So thank you for not including him on that list, Jackson. But no, that's a bit in sports, right? He's the owner. He just spent $4.5 billion to buy this team. You get to hire who you want, and whoever you're listening to, whether it's Isaiah Thomas or not, you get to hire who you want. And you weren't hired by Monty Williams. And if you're the owner, the new owner, like I said, $4.5 billion, and you're sitting in the building watching that game, the final game, what the Nuggets did to your team, I can't blame him for wanting to make the change, honestly.
What's the cliche? It's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results, right? So along those lines, that could explain the line of thinking here. Look, the Suns are out in the second round again. Last year, it was Luka. This year, it was Joker. So, a couple years in a row where the Suns weren't able to get over the proverbial hump. And here's the thing. While the 194 to 115 record leads me to be surprised that Monty was let go. They've been successful. What kind of paved the way for this to happen was look at the massive trade haul that they sent in terms of Cam, in terms of Mikal, in terms of 4 picks, I believe, first-round picks in the future for Kevin Durant. Based on that, the Suns are all in. If they don't win it all, then it's a failure. Based on that, based on how much they gave up, and that trade is, without the Suns getting jewelry, that is a bad trade. If the Suns don't win it all, that is a bad trade, because the Suns were pretty damn good with those players before Kevin Durant. You make the move for Kevin Durant to get over the hump. And if you can't get over the hump with Kevin Durant, what are you going to change? What can you change? There's a lot of talk about trading DeAndre Ayton. You have to have somebody who would want DeAndre Ayton and that contract. So, look, for Monty Williams, I understand, and there's a lot of retreads out there that people want. Frank Vogel, you mentioned Ty Lue. I think it'd be interesting to see, and I know Jody Ayler on this station on the morning show is very passionate about Jay Wright as an option. What are the
I don't want a college coach, man. I just don't.
But a championship winning college coach and a guy like Jay Wright, it's to me, I think is more interesting than Kevin Young.
If you're gonna go Jay Wright, don't you have to go Tom Izzo then?
Yeah, he's actually in the odds. I think he's plus.
Of course, he's in the odds.
Yeah.
That's the odds maker's job, is to put that in there. Izzo's not coming.
No, but I mean, if Jay Wright makes that, you're talking about familiarity with the owner.
Jay Wright doesn't have a college job right now. Jay Wright has hung it up. He's a broadcaster. Right. Tom Izzo is still a coach.
He's a good broadcaster.
He's very good.
Might I add.
And he's a better broadcaster than he would be an NBA head coach.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm just saying that, NBA retreads like a Frank Vogel. Hey, Mike Budenholzer, I think, would be interesting. I think it'd be really interesting if you end up seeing the Bucks hire Monty, and that's you essentially have that trade there. But now Doc Rivers let go by the 76ers. I've seen a lot of Suns fans try to connect those dots and go bring Doc over here.
No.
Along with the potential James Harden coming here as well and recreating the Brooklyn Nets. Look, it's an offseason that's going to be incredibly impactful in the future of the Suns beyond the head coach.
So that's question mark number one. Question mark number two has got to be DeAndre Ayton and what his status is. And there are odds for it that I'm about to read off right now. But I was going to mention too, my worry with DeAndre Ayton is that his value went down because of his. Let's just say how it is. Last season was not a good year for him, but his odds might go up a little bit because you saw Mikal Bridges leave the Suns and play way better. Maybe some teams think when Ayton leaves, away from Booker, away from KD, maybe he could, be better. But the odds on right now for DeAndre Ayton, plus 300 for the Mavericks, which is interesting, plus 400 for the Pacers, which is a team that offered him that max deal, which the Suns had a match for.
Yep.
Blazers at plus 700, Hornets plus 900, and rounding off the top five is the Bulls plus 1,000.
We'll talk more DeAndre Ayton, and I think Chris Paul has to be brought into this conversation as well. We'll do that later on the
he's
show.
Still there?
But we'll step aside here because on the other side, we head to Las Vegas, and it is the Jackson Goff, Marco D'Angelo segment where they talk the 148th running of the Preakness Stakes. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points.
Closer than you think. Talking Stick Resorts Summer Playcation Package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe, here to tell you the biggest thing I've learned about insurance companies over the years, and it's really simple. They don't care about you. That's it. Insurance companies are publicly traded companies who have an obligation to their shareholders to deliver profits. They have teams of investigators, adjusters, and lawyers all working against you from the moment you call them, and they want to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. Hurt in a wreck? Don't be a victim of the insurance companies. Call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together Patrick roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Van's Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona.
It's that time of year again. Valley Chevy Dealers' 24th annual Memorial Day sales event. This Memorial Day, if you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, see your Valley Chevy dealers during the Memorial Day sales event. Stop by any of your Valley Chevy dealers and check out the all-new Chevy Colorado and the all-new Chevy Silverado 1500 LP Turbo Max. New inventory and new models arriving daily. The Memorial Day sales event going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
It's Dom at Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest Grand Open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. And then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Well, that's a big check. Obviously, you could put this towards your next car, or we could try and get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my memoir.
Or I can put it towards my next car with Carvana.
Sorry, your check. Not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
In a new series from the teams at Novel and iHeartRadio, this is the Fighty Pups. We're going out on the ice with the most violent hockey team ever.
That was guerrilla warfare at its highest.
Were they heroes or villains? You decide.
You and I are going to have a problem. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Welcome to the jungle.
Listen to the Fighty Pups on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Who's locked? Who should you stay away from? Take the points. Powered by CAZ Sportsbook's resident handicapper, Marco D'Angelo of WagerTalk.com joins us now on Fox Sports 9.
Welcome back in, and that music means one thing. We're heading up to Las Vegas to say hello to regular contributor, friend of the program from WagerTalk.com. It is Marco D'Angelo. Marco! I changed it up a little. Sorry.
Yeah, you threw off my timing there, Gross.
Sorry about that. Marco, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing good, and we were joking around that we're just going to turn this segment over to you and Jackson and let you guys break down the Preakness Stakes. But before we do that, there's big sports news in Las Vegas. The Vegas Golden Knights, man, it's a hockey town, Marco.
What a game last night. Disheartening to give up the goal as late as they did to head to overtime, but then to come out as quickly as they did in the overtime and just an absolutely insane goal to get the win. It's going to be a fun series, and it's, the side stories to this series being that it's Dallas and head coach Pete DeBoer, who was fired by the Golden Knights last year. That makes it great. And then, of course, we've got a coach that was fired from Boston last year. So somebody's going to, walk away from this series holding their head up pretty high and say, well, I guess you guys were wrong.
Hey, before we do the Preakness, Marco, real quickly, is Las Vegas a Golden Knights town, or is Las Vegas a Raiders town right now?
Or how about an Athletics town?
How about it? There's only two. Is it the Golden Knights or is it the Raiders?
The Raiders have more of a draw because just of the size
right.
and the number of games. But for the community, it's the Golden Knights because unlike the Raiders, it's not somebody else's team. This was, an expansion team. We drafted the team in, they use the saying Vegas born. There's more of a connection with the Golden Knights. And then, unfortunately, too, if you remember, right before the home opener of the season, we had the tragedy with shooting here in Vegas. And the team really, they had such a tribute on that opening night that anybody that wasn't already, coming to be a fan, that did it it solidified that team as part of this community.
All right, Marco, from one horse betting expert to another. Let's talk about the Preakness Stakes. My knowledge I get from you, obviously, so I got to give you the credit. You predicted Mage to win a couple weeks ago at the Kentucky Derby. The Preakness Stakes is today. Marco, give me the whole rundown. Let's cash some tickets. What are we feeling for this race here today?
Well, guys, it was originally an 8-horse field. We're down to 7 because we did get the scratch of number 8 in this race, First Mission, which I thought had a big shot in this race. But with him out of it now, this is Mage's race. The only problem Mage has had in previous races is that he breaks out of the gate slowly. It has to come from behind. The Preakness is generally not conducive to closers. This is a speed-favoring track. But with the short field, he's not going to be that far back, even if he, does break poorly from the gate. He won't have to navigate a field of 20 horses like in the Derby, so traffic problems will be less. He ran a great race in the Kentucky Derby. There's no question about it. But to be totally honest, from that race, the horse that impressed me was the horse that finished second. Two fields and just a bang-up race. That horse was involved in the early fractions, which was very fast, which helped set it up for Mage to come from behind. So this horse was involved early, and he was involved late, hanging on to deep stretch, finally giving it up in the last couple strides before the wire. But he's not in this race. The other horse that raced well was Angel of Empire. That horse is not in this race. So for Mage, it's all about him to win this race. But I do have a long shot. I'm bringing along. If you remember when we talked about Mage in the Derby, and I talk about what I call trip handicapping, and it's when I go back and I watch every horse's replays from their previous races. I want you guys to take a look at the 6 horse in this race. It's 15-1 morning line. The horse's name is Perform. Couple things you got to know about this horse. If you go back and watch his last race and just concentrate on what happened to him that race, the horse coming out of the gate stumbled. He almost went to his knees. Jockey grabbed him up right away, took off with him. Soon as he comes out of the gate after stumbling, the horse, he had post 7. The horse that was on his inside, the 6, and the horse that was on his outside, the 8, both decided to go inside, and they pinched him coming out of the gate after he stumbled. So this horse got away dead last in the race. Then he got a wall of horses when they were coming off the last turn. This horse was zigging and zagging all over the racetrack, trying to find a hole, had to be checked, and checked means where the jockey's got to tap the line and tap the brakes, so to speak, because the hole closed. That happened 2 different times in the stretch. He finally got down to the rail, and when he got down to the rail, immediately did a Z to come back off the rail and go around the horse, and he didn't have daylight until less than 50 yards from the wire, and he exploded to get up by ahead to win the race. Watch this horse in this race. I'm looking for him to improve off of that. And the other thing to note, if he was not eligible for the Preakness, you have to pay a nomination fee as a yearling, and you keep making sustaining payments. But he wasn't eligible. He could supplement into this race. They ponied up $150,000 supplemental fee to get into this race. That's huge. Okay, the horse has only made $130,000. They're ponying up more for this race than the horse has earned so far. That's how much they think of him, and I think a lot of them too. I have him clicking in this race. That's the number 6. My third horse in this race is the 1 horse, National Treasure, trained by Bob Baffert. This horse did not go to the Kentucky Derby. Why? Well, Bob Baffert's not allowed in Kentucky right now. So that's why that horse wasn't in the Derby. I have him third. And rounding out the 4th spot, if you want to go to superfectas, I have number 7, Blazing 7. This is a horse that was eligible for the Kentucky Derby. The trainer, Chad Brown, decided to bypass the Derby and point to this race. This will be his 3rd start of the year. His first start was horrible. Improved in his 2nd start, but I can tell you as a horse owner that whenever you bring a horse back after a layoff, the 3rd start back off of the layoff is generally the best in the horse's form cycle. So I have Blazing 7 on my ticket on the bottom end. Chad Brown felt that this race was better for him than the Kentucky Derby, and that's why we ended up with him on the ticket. So for me, for the Derby, it is Mage. He's going to be a small price, but he is the horse to beat. 3617.
3617. Hey, Marco, you just mentioned as a horse owner yourself, I just want to ask you conceptually, maybe take a step out of Preakness, but what is it like as someone who owns a horse watching a race with your horse in it? Obviously, it's magnified with sticks like today in the Preakness and these kind of races, but every time I'm watching on TV, I look at the owners and the families that own these horses. They're like proud parents out there.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't have described it better. It's like it's like being a parent. When your horse wins a race and when you win these big type races, that would be the equivalent of an owner of a pro sports team. Okay, that's the kind of feeling you get. Obviously, it's not on the same level, but for us as horse owners, and it's even more if you want to go a step further. I also breed horses, so whenever I'm racing a horse that I bred, or it's out of a horse that I had raced previously, and now I'm racing the second generation from that horse, it's even more spectacular. And there's no better rush than when your horse comes across that finish line first, and then all of a sudden you got all kinds of friends that you didn't know you had when you're heading out to the winner's circle and wants to jump in that picture with you.
He's Marco D'Angelo. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. The website is wagertalk.com. Football season, NHL and NBA winding down, but you guys are busy. In fact, we retweeted the preview that you did this week with your team there at Wager Talk, the Preakness Stakes. But you guys have content pretty much 24/7 on all the social media platforms.
Oh, we do. And, last week the NFL schedules were announced, and we've got guides out breaking down everybody's schedule already. And it doesn't stop with all of the sports. And like I said, this is supposed to be the quiet time, as we wind down from the hockey playoffs and the NBA playoffs to get that little bit of a break before the start of football. But you're also doing your groundwork, getting prepared for the upcoming football season. So 365 days
Absolutely.
a year, guys. We don't stop. I used to always joke it was a great bar bet back in the day. Say, what's the only 2 days of the year that there was no sports to bet on? And that's changed now because of that WNBA at that time of the year. But it used to be the day before the baseball all-star game and the day after. But now you can bet on the home run derby the day before too. So there's always something to bet on out. But back in the day, those were the only 2 days that it was quiet. There was nothing to bet on.
Marco, good stuff as always, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next month and talk about the Belmont Stakes.
All right, let's cash some tickets, guys.
He's Marco D'Angelo. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas and the web wagertalk.com. And if you were tuning in late and missed his thoughts on this race today from Baltimore, Maryland, 3617 is what he likes. He likes the number 1 horse, Mage. I'm sorry, not the number 1 horse, number 3 horse to finish. My bad.
The number 1 in the odds horse. Number 1 in the odds.
First, Perform second, National Treasure third, and Blazing Sevens to come in fourth. So that's a 3617 for Marco's thoughts today. And Jackson, you'll digest that and then get your thoughts.
Gross, I'm glad you asked. I'm not going to give out my pick until the end of the show. So, you got your Marco betting expert number 1, and me, truly, I will be at the end of the show as well. Have you guys ever bet the winner of the Kentucky Derby? Have you ever got it right? Never.
Yeah.
Never?
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
But I also bet I bet on random horses that I like their names.
I
and
got
stuff
you.
like
Well, I did first time, so I'm kind of
Did you actually set up an account? Because
no, I didn't. I wish I would have. I don't know.
Unless you go to like a weird app and stuff like that on your phone. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to bet it last week.
Or
honestly
around town, find places that have OTB, or better yet, go out to
Turf Paradise.
Turf Paradise,
I've done that a few
19th Ave and Bell Road, and you could do it live and hang out with other.
I've put on silly hats before and gone and watched it.
All right, on the other side, Major League Baseball, about 2 weeks into the season, we're going to take a look at some recalculated win totals. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
Fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let's help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
Join Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci here for the new Coco Performance Center at Legacy Park, located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high, high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages, and it's the new home of my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call the Coco 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to elitesportsaz.com. And for limited time, mention me, Dan Minucci, and they'll give you your first session free on me. That's 480-572-0647, or go to elitesportsaz.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
It's that time of year again. The Valley Chevy dealers. Truck SUV or Valley Chevy dealers during the Memorial Day sales event. Stop by any of your Valley Chevy dealers and check out the all-new Chevy Colorado and the all-new Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Turbo Max. New inventory and new models arriving daily. The Memorial Day sales event going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today. Visit valleychevy.com.
In a new series from the teams at Novel and iHeartRadio, this is the Fighty Pucks, going out on the ice with the most violent hockey team ever.
That was guerrilla warfare at its highest.
Were they heroes or villains? You decide.
You and I are going to have a problem. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Welcome to the jungle.
Listen to the Fighty Pucks on the iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal.
Look at CAZ Sports Bar and Casino exclusively on Fox Sports 9.
Thanks again to Marco D'Angelo for his visit with us in our last segment. And Mage is the pick again to win this week in the second leg of the Triple Crown. 3617. If you want to put a what's it called, an exacta? It's a 364 bet. I don't even know.
The four, yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, 3617. Hey, we talked about it before the break, but how about this, guys? Let's revisit some Major League Baseball win totals that we looked at the start of the season, and there's been a handful of teams that have outperformed what the original number was, and a couple of teams that they have not kind of been up to the challenge. They've fallen short of where Las Vegas thought they would be on the wins as we approach the 2-month mark here in the 2023 season. And probably not a surprise if you even remotely follow Major League Baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays have outdistanced their total. They started out at 89 wins for the season, and they are now up to 99.5.
And if you look at the CBS Sports does projections for that. They have, kind of their gambling site and stuff like that. They do projections. They're projected to win 108.2 games from the projections.
Also on the list of teams outperforming the Pirates, the Nationals, the Orioles, and the Red Sox, all those teams in a 7 to 9 range in terms of overperforming the original number. Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, the owners of the best story of this Major League Baseball season when they called up Drew Maggi after such a long stay in the minor leagues. Going to turn 34 years old, got his first Major League hit against the Dodgers, and the Brophy College Prep product. Love the smile. Like I said, right now, if you made me vote on Major League Baseball story of the year, that would be it right now, hands down. All right, guys, the other side of the ledger, the biggest drops in win totals 6 weeks into the season. How about the Chicago White Sox, a team that's adorning our big screen here at the CAZ Sportsbook? The Sox are 12 games behind the pace of what Las Vegas thought they would do. They were at 82.5, and that number now sits at 70.5 for the Pale Hose. Another surprise on that list, if you're impressed with what the Rays have done on the plus side, how about the St. Louis Cardinals? This is a team that year in and year out, you talk about, cities where a sport is king. We asked Marco, is it the Knights or the Raiders? You don't ask that question in St. Louis because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Blues are winning championships or when the Rams were there. This is a baseball town, it's more of it's a baseball region. Like that entire part of the world is all St. Louis Cardinals. They're 10 points off the pace from what Las Vegas has set for them. They opened at 88.5. They're at 78.5 right now, below 500 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Talk about surprising numbers.
Yeah, the Cardinals definitely disappointing, and especially when you take a look at their talent. I mean, they have a tremendous amount of talent. Paul Goldschmidt, finally the reigning MVP. But the St. Louis Cardinals, they also a couple years ago they made the trade for Nolan Arenado. They arguably have two of, if not the best players at their respective positions in baseball, and they are struggling. No strange, it's not strange to see the number right there in terms of them dropping down because they have been a disappointment this year. I mentioned the projections. They're right now projected 87 wins. So projected for a bounce back, but right now at 19-27, 6 games behind those Pittsburgh Pirates.
How are the Diamondbacks looking when it comes to win totals and they're projected? Are they kind of on the above expectations, below expectations?
They're above expectations right now. The Diamondbacks closed at 74.5, and right now they have them as a 500 baseball team at 81.5. And I think this is a team that they played well out of the chute, right? Got some nice wins against some National League West rivals.
We just can't talk about yesterday when there was, Herrera was pitching. Whenever your catcher's pitching in a game, it's not good.
It's a consistency
or
thing.
It's really good. It depends.
I think it's a consistency thing with this team. And what you see is, and you watch them a lot more than I do, Bauer, but
I do.
If this team is serious, if we get to the trade deadline, do they pull the trigger? They got an abundance of riches in their minor league system. They got a handful of outfielders that don't start every day on the big club.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to deal one of them or two of them for a pitcher. You need another starting pitcher and bullpen help if you are seriously going to try and chase the Dodgers again this year, because the Padres have given you an opening. You are not as good as the Dodgers, and I don't know that you can pull off a trade to catch the Dodgers. But if you want to stay in the wild card race and stay close to the Dodgers, you got to part with some of the young talent that you've got on this team right now. And I don't know, with where this team is at with their stadium and the owner and their payroll, I don't know if they're willing to do that. But that's what they have to do. Fans will be paying attention.
Zach Gallen, until about this time yesterday, was the odds-on favorite to win the NL Cy Young. He got absolutely torched yesterday, just lasting 3 2/3. A career-high 8 runs, 5 earned, 8 hits. His 6-game winning streak comes to an end yesterday after Gallen and Kelly. And let's be honest, yesterday was an aberration for Zach Gallen. After Gallen and Kelly, there's a lot of question marks in the D-backs rotation. Brandon fought on the bump today. We'll see if he can continue after his great start, his last outing.
Wrapping it up, looking at the National League West, the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks ahead of the pace in terms of what their original number was. The Padres and the Giants behind. It's going to do it for hour number one. We'll step aside. More to come on the other side. You're listening to Fox Sports 910.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At White Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to
Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome in hour number 2. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Croft coming to you from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. And we've already had our breakfast Sammys, and we're halfway through the show. Come on out and see us. We're taking you up to 1 o'clock today. Nice little crowd already in the Sportsbook. They're watching some golf, watching some baseball, and you can join them here. Great food and drink specials always at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. We covered a lot of territory, guys, in hour number 1. Talked about some head coaching odds on the coaches on the move in the National Basketball Association. We got our good friend Marco D'Angelo here talking about the Preakness. In case you missed it, he likes beige again to win that one. And we just did some Major League Baseball win total updates. We're 6-8 weeks into the season, and some of the numbers are on the move. So if you missed that, check that out online. But, guys, we got to circle back. The disappointment's still fresh in terms of the way the Phoenix Suns season ended. We talked about Monty Williams losing his job. You can blow a coach out easily, right? There's no salary cap implication. You don't need a trade partner. You don't need any of that. You know, an owner says, you know what? You're done. And it's happened 6 times already in this NBA postseason. And 2 headline guys, Monty Williams, Mike Budenholzer, those guys, they were playing for an NBA championship against each other 2 short seasons ago. They're both out of work right now. So coaches come, coaches go. The more difficult thing for teams to deal with is players and age, players and contracts, trading partners, all of that. But the Phoenix Suns have some serious questions that they need to address, particularly with 2 of their guys. 2 of their guys, when you talk about the big 4, they were going to run it out and win the championship. You've got to deal with DeAndre Ayton, whatever that means. And then you've got a serious question with a clock ticking over your head in terms of what do you do with Chris Paul. Chris Paul will have his contract fully guaranteed if you don't do anything by the 28th of June. So big questions for the new ownership. And as long as James Jones is in his job, big questions for him about how they retool this roster and how they retool the contracts of a couple players. But they've got to do something because the term you hear in basketball is run it back. You can't run this team back. You can't, even if you get a new head coach.
Yeah, you got a lot of question marks, like you mentioned, but there's 2 big answers that they do have, which is Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Folks, it works. Don't stress. Don't worry. People, when Kevin Durant came over, you know, they wanted to see this chemistry. The chemistry's there, all right? So what can you do to build around this team? And Matt Ishbia and James Jones, if he's still there, with talks Bob Myers and the Warriors not coming up with a contract extension. His name has been thrown out there. But the biggest question mark besides head coach right now has got to be DeAndre Ayton. And it's been stated rumors of the Blazers potentially looking at him for their first-round pick, potentially even their 3rd overall pick in DeAndre Ayton. They may see something in him with Damian Lillard that they could fix. It's being reported now the Mavericks' interest in Suns center has been overstated, so it looks like the Mavericks, as of right now, are interested in DeAndre Ayton, but again, it's so early right now, we don't know. These are all kind of just speculations. But a team that's been kind of thrown into the fire, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion about, would be the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic, and the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers being a team that already offered DeAndre Ayton that contract last offseason. The Magic have a lot of young players, too. Maybe they want to bring in a veteran center in DeAndre Ayton. And then the Hawks. You got Clint Capella possibly over there. You know, DeAndre Hunter. Maybe they want to pair him with Trae Young, which is funny because Trae Young and DeAndre Ayton, they were in the same draft class, which would be kind of crazy there. But where do you guys see DeAndre Ayton? Do you see him on the Suns next year, or do you see him on another organization?
I'm just kind of disappointed anytime you bring up the draft class, because then I go to the draft, I look at the draft, and I see DeAndre Ayton's name atop the draft, and then I see better players after his name in that same exact draft. So that's just always a bummer whenever you mention that DeAndre Ayton draft. It's kind of a bummer. Hey, look, you know, the thing with DeAndre Ayton is you have to have somebody interested in him to trade for him. He has a monster max deal, so you've got to bring back a lot of salary in any kind of trade, which is why. And I saw some people saying about some people connecting the dots, mostly Blazers fans. Hey, let's trade the number 3 pick. Can we bring in DeAndre Ayton? Cool. Who do you have on your roster that's going to make that salary work in terms of bringing him over? And then, of course, Suns fans joking. I hope jokingly, we're saying Dame for DeAndre Ayton, that because you must be incredibly drunk to think that's something that the Blazers would ever do. But hey, look, in terms of young pieces, Orlando has some young pieces. You also have the Hawks. You mentioned those as well. And of course, the Pacers have shown interest in that. For the Suns, I mean, you'd kind of be undoing what you did in terms of giving up young players to go get a Kevin Durant, in terms of trading a DeAndre to maybe get some younger pieces to fill out that. But hey, let's be honest, with Chris Paul is definitely past prime. With Kevin Durant is on the right side of the NBA age curve. Devin Booker, who is vaulted into superstar status, you have to make a run for it. And for the Sun, it's a huge off season. Jim mentioned coach, front office potential restructuring, new ownership, and anytime, whether it's in the NBA, any kind of process, it's in college with a new athletic director. In this instance, you have a new that comes in. These guys aren't his guys. So there's no existing relations. There's no love affair there in terms of making what Matt Ishbia thinks are decisions for the business that he invested over $4 billion. He's got to make the moves, and for the Suns, by far the trade chip they have, because they don't have 0 picks. There's no picks.
They have the 52nd in the second round.
The Suns have no picks, but the bet they have is DeAndre Ayton, and that's what you look at. And you go, right, if we can make, you're almost forced to move in Ayton in order to improve the roster. Made the move at coach, but now improve the roster. How do you do it?
Well,
it's not draft. It's got to through a trade with this guy.
And the things they are missing is cap flexibility. And I would say, Jackson, that the more important question now is, what are you going to do with Chris Paul? Because you can turn DeAndre Ayton whenever you want, right? His is what it is, and the hit, if you move it, what it is. But there's that June deadline for Paul.
And then my question to you is, what is his value though? Because he's 38 years. That's the question mark with Chris DeAndre. I understand people want him both traded, but is the value that great where you can get a piece to come here? I don't know. You might have to together, or maybe even throw in a campaign or Shaman on top of trading Ayton or Chris Paul.
Garbage in terms of. I mean, Chris Paul's already garbage. Now you're going to throw in good players to try and sweeten the deal. Nobody's going to add. It's going to be an uphill climb for them to find somebody.
No, the issue is do you waive Chris Paul?
Right.
Because if you wait before that June 28th date, you save yourself $15 million. And that's a tough do. The other option, I suppose that it's out there, and I don't know if it's even to be entertained. I guess you could go to him and say, let's figure out a way to retool this and make it more palatable if you want to round in a reduced role. But I think that question has to be answered. That DeAndre Ayton's out there. DeAndre, everybody knows what value is, and the value is lower. You Google it. You and I talked about this last. Teams know that if you are interested in DeAndre, if you think you can, and I use air quotes on the radio again, fix him, you're going to get him at a much than you would have previously, right? So go ahead, and there's trade centers out there, and Bauer makes a great point. The numbers catch up. You're not going to say, hey, trade and send us three draft picks. That's how it works in the Basketball Association. You have to make things work. But this Chris Paul situation has to be dealt with by June 28th. It might be a tough decision. You might have to just suck of him and move on. But you need that stability, because not only do you have to deal with Under Ayton, most of the bench isn't on track for next year. I think there's
you got guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You have 4 guys. I mean, you have four guys. 87% of the Suns committed $64 million salary is Kevin Durant, Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. So I know you got four guys, right? You got full roster. You have four. That's what you have. What you have right now, the Suns. Haiti, Devin Booker, Chris DeAndre Ayton. Marks does a great job for ESPN. Former front office inside of a former front office guy. It mentions the luxury tax threshold is 162 million. The Suns are 87% of that with Kevin Durant, Devin Ball, and DeAndre Ayton. They don't picks to move. Their trade asset, untrade asset, is DeAndre. And let's be honest, how good of a trade asset?
Yeah, and I look at some of these simulators like you wrote. So a lot of these trade simulators for Paul, and I kind of shake my head. So I'd love to hear your reactions.
Let's go fantasy basketball.
Love fantasy basketball. How many other teams not on here? I wanted to mention too. Chris Paul. Do you think the Lakers possibly because LeBron James wanting to have that relationship with Chris Paul that maybe he could give some leverage in one of the Lakers?
Yeah. I mean, those guys. Those are the three. What are they? The old boys, right?
And Wade and Carmelo. Yeah,
those guys three. They're very close. Look, and once LeBron gets, we've seen that year after year. While you're pulling trade machine, our friends over at Brightside Valley of the Suns, they put down kind of pontificated 3 Paul trade, maybe to the Clippers. Eric Gordon, Covington, and a first round pick from the Suns. They also have the Jonathan Isaac and Garrett. That's something that they punted. And then the Chicago Bulls, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, and Andre Drummond for 3 campaign and 2. I mean, these are all things, just connecting the dots, playing fantasy ball. But can we get a ton for them?
Stop. Can we stop with the scenarios that give any play to the Clippers bailing out Suns? That first trade pick that you just read is ridiculous. If I was the Suns, I'd take that like yesterday.
Right.
I'd take that yesterday. Why in the world? And we love over there at Brightside of the Sun. But why?
Suns. My bad.
I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know them, and I don't have anything nice to say about them. Why in the world would the Clippers that deal? It makes no sense. You already have superstars healthy for the playoffs on the roster. Why would you need to
stand up, make a run? And if you're the Clip Show, you want to run with one.
Bring over Ty Lue because, as you said, the Suns have no draft picks to make that deal for Ty Lue.
Well, trade Chris Paul for Ty Lue.
Oh my God. All right, we'll step aside. On the other side, though, Jackson, fire up that trade simulator.
Let's go.
We will trade DeAndre Ayton in the next segment. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Take the point. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online at WrightToyota.com.
Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals.
GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker. NMLS 1091187. License MB092493. An equal opportunity lender.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag sexy roof status. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
Golfers, swing into Van's Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest.
CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back in, and we got the TVs fired up here at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona, and a lot of people hunkered down watching the golf tournament. Jackson, what's the update? Because you have, let's be honest, you've not been paying attention to today's show. You've been focused on the golf.
Whoa.
Me neither.
Whoa.
I can't blame him.
Let's go.
Watching Victor Hovland hold an umbrella right now. It's the most exciting thing in
It is
sports.
the second major of 4 this season for men's golf, PGA Tour golf. And the current updates right now, live from Oak Hill, first place is Victor Hovland and Corey Connors, both at 5 under. And you're probably wondering, whoa, there was Scotty Scheffler at 5 under as well. Well, he started bogey, first 2 holes. Now he's at 3 under. You say ha-ha there, Bauer.
Yeah.
Why so?
Well, because I'm not a fan. And now, granted, I did.
How are you not a fan
of Scotty Scheffler? Not a fan. I don't want to get into it. But the leaderboard there, look, Scotty coming in. There was 3 guys tied atop the leaderboard. There's only a handful of players in the red coming into today. Victor and Corey Connors atop right now. Scotty, but hey, and Jackson, you mentioned this off air. The viral sensation of the internet and all this stuff is they're not paying attention to the leaders. They're paying attention to one pairing of 2 guys who play on an exhibition tour. Bryson and Brooks, two best of friends right there, are actually paired together today on moving day at the PGA Championship. Bryson and Brooks, they're both started off at 2 under for the day. Hey, Bryson and Brooks right there are near the top of the leaderboard. Rory having himself a good day as well. Adam Svensson making a little bit of a charge, but it is a busy leaderboard at the PGA. Interestingly enough, one of the PGA pros, Michael Block. He fired back-to-back 70s, a perfect even. He's even through 3 today. If you want to get 750 to 1 odds at the beginning of the day, they're 400 to 1 now. If you want to bet on the PGA Pro, the amateur, to win it all, he's right now T10 with some other really talented players. This is going to be awesome because rain right now. You had wind the last couple days. You got rain. The conditions could be drying up a little bit better later today, but it should be a beautiful Sunday tomorrow at Oak Hill there in Rochester, upstate New York, for the PGA Championship. And as a new dad, I'm getting used to doing the dad thing, which is fall asleep on the couch watching golf. And I'm going to do that 100% tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
Nothing better. The weather's going to be great tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny. And you mentioned Michael Block. His odds, I wonder what his odds were to be in the top 10, let alone make the cut.
$1 trillion, billion, million to 1.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a great round 3 here. I'm interested to see how Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau end up. Bryson DeChambeau, a guy that can drive the ball far, get out of the rough. That rough's about 9 feet deep. Gross.
Yeah,
it's
heavy
deep.
and wet, and it's nasty.
John
stuff.
Rahm's been living in it so far the last 3 days, unfortunately, for the Sun Devil.
And,
Phil Mickelson having a rough round, too.
And a weather update, as the guys were saying, you look at it right now, live radar. Corey McCloskey, thank you very much. Rain for the next 3 hours.
Norman over here.
80% chance of rain for the next 3 hours. Should start clearing up tonight and overnight, but like they both said, beautiful, sunny day scheduled for day 4 tomorrow. So get your TV ready and fired up. All right. We're going to pivot back, and we are going to do the Suns' dirty work for him right now. We are going to trade DeAndre Ayton. We're going to find a spot, and it will not be lazy work. We will not trade him to the Clippers for a draft pick and whatever. No, that was Chris Paul that was going to the Clippers.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Yeah, my bad. That's not happening.
They do not need DeAndre Ayton.
They do not need him. Jackson, let's help the Phoenix Suns. Where are we trading DeAndre Ayton to? Let's get this done so we can move on to more important things.
Okay, well, some packages right now that are online about DeAndre Ayton that we could either be a fan or not a fan of. The first one, the Dallas Mavericks, we mentioned before they're not interested in him, but they could be, just shading, throwing smoke screens left and right. Well, this trade situation right now has Josh Green, Reggie Bullock, and a first-round pick for DeAndre Ayton.
I don't know who those players are. I'm not going to lie. I have you just made up names.
No.
Made up names.
Josh Green, young talent. He's from Australia.
Oh, crikey.
No? Okay, all right.
Wait, can I get the number 10 pick, though? Right, the Mavs have the number 10.
Yeah, they do have the
Remember,
number 10
at the end of the
pick.
season, Mark Cuban came under fire. They essentially tanked at the end of the season. They didn't start good players. They wanted to try to get in the Wemby sweepstakes. By the way, congratulations to the Spurs on winning that. That should be fun to watch Pop stick around a couple years to coach Wemby. But can I get the number 10 pick in that trade? Can I at least get a draft pick? I don't know.
Well, I think that, whether there's interest or not, right, that's debatable. But I think the fact that, these two franchises with the 2018 draft are inexplicably linked, and I use that word intentionally, if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, the former owner, a fan of the Arizona Wildcats, I think is the reason why that pick actually happened. That's the only definition of why that I've heard that I can actually sink my teeth into and believe that why DeAndre Ayton's here and Luka's not. But that would be fascinating to see the two of those guys playing together.
You mentioned the San Antonio Spurs. Well, they just called, and in this scenario, they want to trade Zach Collins, Doug McDermott, and Devontae Graham, as well as a 2025 first-round pick for DeAndre Ayton. Devontae Graham, I kind of like that as a point guard position. Doug McDermott, a shooter off the bench. Zach Collins, young talent, could be a center. I don't know.
And a pick.
And that's not terrible. That's not terrible.
The pick, it depends. Yeah, Wemby is the second coming of Duncan and Robinson and all that stuff. Best pick since LeBron. That pick could be down if he's as good as advertised. That pick could be down, but still, that's a pick. You don't have any first-round picks for the rest of eternity if you're the Phoenix Suns based on the Kevin Durant trade. So I'm interested in that one.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Portland Trailblazers. You've got, is it Nurkic? How do you say his name?
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yusuf Nurkic, Kevin Knox, Nasir White, and a 2026 first-round pick, top 7 protected for one DeAndre Ayton.
Again, who? Like
Nasir Little is a good bench guy. Kevin Knox, he's from Kentucky. He can shoot a little bit. Nurkic, he's injured a lot. Again, who? Yeah. And then the last one I want to give to you guys real quick
come on now.
is the Charlotte Hornets. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Cody Martin, and a first-round pick for DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul.
All right, so that's one where you're throwing in CP3 and you're making this whole move. Hey, I'm more interested in that. You got the albatross of Hayward's contract, but the guy can still play. Terry Rozier got a monster contract after he left the Celtics. He's still got more game in him than a lot of the other guys out there. Again, DeAndre Ayton is the best trade chip you've got if you're the Phoenix Suns, and moving DeAndre Ayton is the best, possibly the only way you have to actually improve this roster based on what you have right now, because you're not moving KD, you're not moving Book, you're not going to get a ton for CP3. So I feel like you almost have to make this trade. You have to make an Ayton trade.
Guys, I'll do some homework because some of these trade scenarios and rumors out there are very bogus and not good. So I'm going to do some of myself next week, and I'll come with some homework and some prep work for
look at that.
We'll step aside here on the other side. We bring Casey in from the CAZ Sportsbook. Catch up with him, find out what's going on here. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free
the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings, bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota. They rock for my friends at Right Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota. Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci here for the new Coco 5 Performance Center at Legacy Park located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which can include junior high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages. And it's the new home of my quarterback training. We have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Darryl Bryan. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call the Coco 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to EliteSportsAZ.com. And for limited time, mention me, Dan Minucci, and they'll give you your first session free on me. That's 480-572-0647, or go to EliteSportsAZ.com.
Join Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
It's that time of year again. The Valley Chevy Dealers 24th Annual Memorial Day Sales Event. This Memorial Day, if you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, see your Valley Chevy dealers during the Memorial Day Sales Event. Stop by any of your Valley Chevy dealers and check out the all-new Chevy Colorado and the all-new Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Turbo Max. New inventory and new models arriving daily. The Memorial Day Sales Event going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com.
That was a great dinner.
So great. Wait, where'd you park the car?
Oh, the one I just sold to Carvana.
What? When did you do that?
When you were still looking at the menu. I went on Carvana.com and all I had to do was enter the license plate or VIN, answer a few questions, and got a real offer in seconds.
They picked up the car already?
No, I parked around the corner. But they are picking it up tomorrow and paying me right on the spot.
Oh, no wonder you picked up the check.
Yeah, about that. Thought we were going halvesies.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
And find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back in. Take you up to 1 o'clock today from the CAZ Sportsbook, and by for his regular visit with us is Casey, who works. We all joke around, but greatest job going. Works here at the Sportsbook. He's got the TVs on, gets to hang out with us. What a great job he has. And you're a Boston Celtics fan, so we'll give you the floor right now. This is therapy. We'll let you talk about how you feel about your Celtics down 0-2 to the Miami Heat, getting ready to head to Miami for Game 3.
Yeah, they're definitely in a tough spot. Opened the series at minus 525. Now they're plus 145 after dropping both at home. A couple of you have probably heard me on the radio before. I'm not a big Tatum guy. Disappears in the big games. Fourth quarters, the last 2 games, taking 3 shots, 3 3-pointers, 11 points total at the foul line. Terrible.
Well, we were talking at the outset of the show, and not specifically about the Celtics, so I don't mean it in this sense of the word, but you look at if you're a Miami fan, you got the Heat and the Panthers, 8 seeds in their respective sports. Coming out of the play-in tournament, if you're the Heat, and this is where it gets dicey for you, and I'm sorry, but the Panthers eliminating the Bruins, who had the best record or most points in the history of the National Hockey League. And then if that wasn't enough, they take down the Maple Leafs. And now they're playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then, of course, we were talking about the Heat. It's got to feel almost the opposite for a Celtics fan, where you have the high seeded teams. We talked about the Bruins, the Celtics up there year in, year out, but disappointment.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we're getting owned right now by Florida teams. I mean, the Bruins, like you said, most points ever. They had 12 losses all season. They lost 4 in the first round. It's tough. It's tough for sure.
Well, and if you're from the Northeast, not specifically, but Florida, that's where your grandparents go to retire. It's not where you go to get your butt kicked if you're the Celtics or the Bruins. But hey, and I don't know if does this make matters worse or not. You look at a team that gave Boston something they hadn't had for so long in the Red Sox, but unfortunately for them, they're in the most difficult division of all of baseball. They're playing like 550 baseball, and that's good enough barely for 4th place in that division.
Yeah, tough. I was looking the other day when they played that Sunday night game against the Cardinals. They were 4 games above 500. They were 8 games out of first place, and then you had the Cardinals, who were 10 games below 500, 8 games out of first place. So it's going to be a tough year for the Sox, I think, as well.
Hey, but at least Yoshida's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, that guy has really taken Boston by storm. Obviously, Rafael Devers having a great season as well. But, I mean, that's got to be a fan favorite. So let me ask you this conceptually. In doing what you do, you work here fan, but your job is to move away from that. Go, hey, look, I'm not a fan, and that's actually, in turn, is great advice for anybody who's looking to walk up to the windows and put money down. Is, hey, look, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. How is that for you? Kind of from the other side of things, is you have to put this aside and go, hey, look, I'm a fan, and that's great. We all are. Everybody listening is a sports fan, but betting's different.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I'm probably bet more against my home teams than anybody you know.
The emotional hedge.
Yeah.
I love the emotional hedge.
Yeah, of course. Anybody that comes up, they ask that. I don't really ever give insight into what I think.
Right.
Just because you don't want to sway anybody. But yeah, for sure. As a fan, definitely root for them a lot. But hey, when I'm betting on them or against them, I care more about the money.
Right. That's why I always say. I say bet with your wallet, not with your heart. And I do that all. I can't tell you how many times I've won money on my Sun Devils losing. ASU, because I'm like, you know what? If they win, I will be emotionally fulfilled with happiness for my team winning a game. And if they lose, I will make money, and I will be okay with that. And I'll buy some beers, and I'll be very happy.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Actually, last night, for instance, obviously I want the Celtics to win. They're favored by 10. So I just need them to win, but I bet the Heat. I thought getting them plus 10 was free money. So, I mean, I was hoping they would win, but they didn't. But I won the bet, so evens out.
Well, part of the payoff for you sitting in on this is you get to be part of our weekly pick segment. But before we do that, what has been kind of the reaction or the NBA fans? And you talk about that hometown feel, whether you're a Boston fan sitting here, or we've been talking a lot about the Suns, the disappointment of the Phoenix sports fan 2 years in a row with that huge feeling in the pit of your stomach, the way they were eliminated last year against the Mavericks, this year against the Nuggets. How are sports fans handling that here?
They're taking it a little tough. I mean, it hurts the sports book a little bit because we don't get that Suns money coming in every game. But yeah, it's definitely been rough for them. At least the D-backs are off to a good start. So hopefully that continues. But other than that, yeah, it's been for sure rough for Arizona fans. Can't see the Cardinals being any good this year. So not much to look forward to as an Arizona sports fan right now.
Got that right.
All right. Well, we've got in terms of our picks, we've got 4 games I'm seeing right now. There was some discussion trying to figure out what games we were actually picking because Mike Gross doesn't read his text messages. Hey, look, you got Denver at the Lakers. Denver up 2-0 in this series, but the series shifts to LA. In terms of this one, I can't see all the way across the room in terms of the numbers, but Denver at LA. Casey, what do you like in this one?
Right now, we actually have the Lakers at a 6-point favorite.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're going to bounce back a little bit because they're going to be at home. They're going to get some better play from the bench. You never know what you're going to get with AD, even though he's been playing good. But I'm going to go with the Nuggets getting 6 today.
Nuggets getting. I mean, that's it's not often that you see a team that's winning a series big like that. That is has played very well, getting that many points, even though it is a venue change. So you're going with Denver. You're taking the points right there. That is the name of the show, is Take the Points. Speaking of that, your Boston Celtics, they're getting some points on the road at Miami. Seed-wise, they are favored in this series, favored to win. They are the favorite at Miami, but right now they're actually, -3, right? Is it kind of what I'm seeing?
Yeah, they're -3. The Heat are at home. They're getting +3.5. Hate to do it again. I'm going to take the Heat in this, getting the points, as I think Joe Mazzulla is absolutely a horrific coach and is going to.
Wait, did you say Ime Udoka? I'm sorry.
No.
Ime Udoka? It's not him anymore?
No. It's Mazzulla now.
I know.
But yeah, no, I think Spoelstra runs circles around him. So give me the 3.5 in that one as well.
Oh man, so you're taking both of the road teams, but they're both getting points here, even though they're favorite. I'm sorry, no, you're taking Miami +3
at home. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So you're taking the points. The name of the show. All right, how about let's stay in Florida. Or not in Florida, but we're going to Carolina, but involving Florida. Florida at Carolina. This game coming off of the 17 overtimes the other night. Both teams reeling, tired as heck. What do you see in Florida at Carolina?
I see today, I think that Carolina is going to even it. I would take that today. They're -155 on the money line.
-155 on the money line. Obviously, in hockey, you're always getting the 1.5 goal, right? So you can't really look at that. You always want to look at the money line number.
Yeah, the money line, if you just want to do a straight up bet to win, The puck line, if you go to overtime, you can't win by 2 or lose by 2.
Yep.
So the puck line that way would win that way.
Carolina minus the 155. All right, hey, look, we got some ponies running around in a circle over in Baltimore. The Preakness, it's more of an oval, I guess, but the Preakness, are you gonna jump with the favorite Mage? He's the favorite again after winning the Derby just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the favorite in that, pretty much just because do a little bit of excitement for the Triple Crown. We got Jack over here, our sportsbook manager, saying to go with the 5.
Oh, Jack, you like the 5? All right. Hey, okay, there we go. All right.
All right, Casey, the picks are locked and loaded. All right, before we let you get out of here, we know the bread and butter for our show and sportsbooks football season. Unfortunately, we're sitting here in late May, but I was over there. You guys have futures out already for college football and the National Football League.
Yeah, we have futures out for college football. How many wins you think each team's going to win in their respective conference. We also have over-unders for the NFL teams,
all right,
all the divisions, all that stuff. So, yeah, come on in. Take advantage of the best line.
We will have you at some point. Jackson and I are going to come to blows on the show because we've been arguing back and forth about this Arizona Wildcats team. I think the number that we saw is 5 for the Arizona Wildcats. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a number that he absolutely thinks they're going to exceed 5. I'm like, the only thing I can say about this regime down there in Tucson is they're undefeated in the spring game so far. I mean, they need to show me before I go on. So at some point you will have to come in and, because we will put real money on it as the season gets closer here at the CAZ Sportsbook. But this is neither one of us went there. We don't have a dog in the race. But for whatever reason, we are in serious disagreement. But futures are available here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Casey, great for jumping in. We appreciate it. Sorry about the Boston sports scene right now. As a Detroit fan, I feel your pain.
Hey, if anybody knows about coming from down, it's Boston. Boston fans, very famously from down 0-3 to the Yankees in 0-4. They know you're not out yet. You still got time.
We got a shot.
Got them right where they want them, right?
You're a Lions fan?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we've been taking most action on the Lions to win the Super Bowl and their division this year.
I'm a Bears fan.
We'll have a conversation about that. I don't know that I'm all the way there yet either. Casey, good stuff. We appreciate it. We'll step aside, come back. We'll make our picks and wrap up today's show. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
This is The Herd. Attention listeners. With Colin Cowherd.
I'm comparing this LeBron to LeBron in his prime. Of course he looks average. Of course he looks old, at times mediocre.
Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Final segment of the day. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Saturday. Absolutely gorgeous day outside. And this is the fine part of the program where we do our picks.
Whoa!
And before we jump into the actual picks this week, I'll ask Jackson to just read everybody's records right now.
Oh, we don't have to do that at all.
Brother.
We really don't have to do that.
Go ahead, Jackson.
Nope. All right, let's get it started. Bauer.
Gross is in first. That's why he wants that to happen.
All right. There we go. That's all we had to say.
All right, Bauer, get it started, man. You haven't been here for a while. We love the energy you bring towards the picks. The floor is yours.
Well, energy is about all I've got. It's because so far this year I've been absolutely trashed with my picks, so no one listened to my picks at all whatsoever. If you take any advice, it should probably be do the opposite of what I say. But give me the points. Take the points with Denver. That's our first pick. Denver at the Lakers, 6.5. The line actually moved down to 6 here at the CAZ Sportsbook, so unfortunately I just lose a half a point there. But I'm still going to give me some free points. I may or may not have teased this a little bit since I'm getting points for Denver. I threw a couple extra points on Denver. But Denver at the Lakers, 222.5 is the number. But I'm taking Denver. And the name of the damn show is called Take the Points. Taking the points, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points as well. I think 6.5 is too much. And yes, the Lakers are at home, but the way Jokic has been playing, it's unreal. Give me 6.5 favorite of Denver.
You know what I'm doing? I'm changing on the fly.
You're literally typing in. I'm watching on the Google Doc.
It's locked because I can't change it after I say it on the radio.
Okay.
I had the Lakers, and I still like the Lakers, but I like the over in this game. So give me over.
You just wussed out of the Lakers here.
No, and then what I'm going to do when I make my bet, I'm going to take money line on the Lakers and parlay it with the over. What did Marco call that? Where complimentary bet or something like that, where you have two bets that kind of sync up with each other. So over, and I still like the Lakers. But the official pick for the show is the over.
So in one instance, you have the 1 seed on the road. They're getting points. That's good news for them. They're getting points. In the other instance, you have Boston. They're down. Unlike Denver is up 2-0 going on the road to L.A., Boston is facing a tough uphill climb as Miami took the first 2 in Beantown. Boston -3 at Miami. Jackson, what do you like in this one? The number is about 214.5.
I like the under in this matchup. Eastern Conference matchup. Both teams like to play defense. Jason Tatum has been struggling as well. And listen, Miami's been playing well, but I think it's going to be an under. I think you're thinking 100. 101, 100 kind of game. Give me the under in this matchup.
Hey, I'm joining our guy Casey from the CAZ Sportsbook. I liked his picks. I already had mine typed in before that, but I'm gonna name of the show. I'm taking the points. Give me Miami +3.
I think Boston gets it together.
Wicked good pronunciation.
Yeah, and I think I was driving home last night, listening to the post-game show, listening to some of the players' comments, and this is a good basketball team. And Boston, I don't 3.5 doesn't scare me. Give me the Celtics in this game.
And the thing you can rely on too for Boston fans is they've lost close games and their best 2 players haven't played well down the stretch. So if Jaylen Brown specifically 16 points last night, if he can step up, Jason Tatum can hit some more shots in the fourth quarter, they could swing the series around quickly. Because for the Heat, it's Adebayo and it's Jimmy Butler. Obviously, mostly Jimmy Butler. But besides that, they don't have really any real standout guys.
Well, and the other thing Casey said that I 100% agree with, and we've talked about this a lot on this show, is it's their coach. It's their coach. Eric Spoelstra is he the most underrated coach in the National Basketball Association, I think. He's never won Coach of the Year. Never won.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
You know, you mentioned that it's only a couple guys. Hey, Tyler Harrow, he can light it up at any point in time. But I'll tell you right now, Caleb. I know. I'm just saying. I'm getting to you. Just pause. Let me finish my thought here.
Okay.
But Caleb Martin is making himself some money because he's playing well for Miami. All right, listen, hockey guy, and I'm talking to you, Jackson Groff, big puckhead,
big hockey guy,
big puckhead. Florida at Carolina. What do you like in this one? I know you watched all of the overtimes the other night. Kachuk, that bum, finally with the game winner. What do you like?
I actually watched the third and fourth overtime. I like Florida +1.5 here. I think it's a lot of goals, especially when it was this this series, the last game, went to overtime, only won by 1 goal, 1.5 here. Take the points, Florida.
Now, if you're at home watching these games, and the amount of overtime in the National Hockey League this postseason is ridiculous. But if a game gets to overtime, use your app and go in and just pick a guy or a handful of guys to score the game-winning goal. It's kind of like the Butchergross challenge with money on it. And it's, whatever your app is, go in, and as soon as the game goes to overtime, they load up the players with the odds, and they're cool. You can look at it. You can pick your favorite players if you like the Carolina Hurricanes, which I do in this game.
Or two, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a handful of former Coyotes. You can go Jordan Martinook, for example. Put a buck on there. You win $17, $18. It's a lot of fun, and it keeps that interest up in the overtime. But in this game in particular, Carolina's a good team. I think the Panthers probably win this series, but I like Carolina in game 2.
I mean, are we playing this where we get the goal? Because if we get the 1.5, I'm going to take Carolina plus the 1.5. I'm sorry, I'm going to take Florida plus the 1.5 because they're getting. If we're playing with the 1.5,
I'm in minus. Cool. I'm minus 1.5 on this one.
I was going to say, because if we're just playing the goal line or the over under, all right. So I'll take Florida because in this instance, I'm getting 1.5. We're going to play that. How about the Preakness, guys? The Preakness a little bit later today. We're going to go with Jackson right there.
Jackson goes last.
That's right, because he is horse racing expert.
That's right. Jackson goes last on this one. I'll go first. Marco, if you missed it earlier at 11:30, Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com was on with us. He gave us 3-6-1-7. Mage, Perform, National Treasure, Blazing Sevens.
Yep.
I'm going to go with number 6 horse, Perform, 16-1. That's my pick.
All right. I was going to go. I was going to go with our guy Marco because we love Marco. He brings the heat every week, and I was going to go with Marco. But then our guy Jack here, the sportsbook director at the CAZ Sportsbook, he came over here and he whispered a little bit off the air, and he said he likes the 5. So I'm going to change my pick because I don't want to double up with you, Grosser, and double down on Perform. Give me Red Route 1, and then I'm a 5 horse, about 10-1 odds or so.
All right, for my pick, I know everyone's waiting for my pick. Horse betting expert myself. One of my favorite movies of all time.
You won one.
Is National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. Give me National Treasure. I like him. 4-1 here. Nicolas Cage, bring us home, baby.
I want you to make that bet on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Make that bet now.
100%.
Right on the back of the Declaration.
Way to break it down, Jack. You threw a curve at me on that one. That is not what I expected from you today. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Again, thanks to our guests. We have Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com. Follow Marco on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. And, of course, you just had Casey from the CAZ Sportsbook came in, and we let him express some of the pain he was feeling as a sports fan from Boston, but break down some good information. The Sportsbook is open tonight till the last game is over and open every day for your wagering needs.